don't turn it there.
You say 60,000 divided by 5 is 1200.
Yeah.
I think so.
I
Yeah.
don't think so.
12,000.
Oh, 12,000?
12,000.
Yeah, I do need another one in there, don't I? You're right. Okay. I don't touch it. You're quite correct. I got a 0 in there. Okay, so there we go. So now we've got them down. So you are quite correct. I need another 0 in there. And to think I did that to myself, right? So, okay. And so that's the, and we'll clear the chart here. Come on. And we can check our time here. So now we have our 280 and it's 312. Well, that's better, right? We're oscillating between 288 and 312, right? So hey, that's almost looking reasonable, right? So what, we've got it down between, not too surprisingly, instead of having 120, we've got it down to what, 24 RPM. So it's sort of oscillating between 24, because this is 12,000, right? Okay. Okay, so that turns it into
Did it
24.
stop?
What's that?
What happened there? Oh, you're not, okay, never mind.
Yeah, I didn't.
You're not holding it.
I didn't hold it over
That's
there, right? Right. So.
Yeah.
Now you see, it takes a while to build up, right? Because what does it do? It has to wait for 5 periods before it's getting. So I'm not going to get a valid reading or see a big change in the reading for 2.5 seconds, right? But this is a trade-off we have, right? We play that trade-off game, that resolution. We got better results, but what do? It slows it down. Okay, so that's one thing we could be. Now, that helped, right? But it's still not great, right? It still takes 2.5 seconds. It still doesn't really give me good time. So, what do I need to do here? Well, it'd be awful nice if we could average those, right? Because if I could average that stuff out, that noise out over there, right, then I could get a value that was sort of dependent upon where they were in between them. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Now the problem is we put a mean, it's just going to average the current value with one value. It's not going to do anything. So we're going to have to average it somehow with the prior value. And this is turning into one of those digital filtering things that we did last time with the force, right? We do a little digital filter. What's the digital filter? You have the current value multiplied by a percentage and then 1 minus the percentage times the prior value. So a little digital filter in here seems to be a thing that might be kind of cool, right? Because that would average them out over time. That's called a digital filter. We could do an exponential EMOG, exponentially weighted moving average filter, which we can do by putting in some sort of shift register, right? What are we going to do? We're going to have our alpha, and I'm going to take our alpha and get a slide indicator, and I'll put this as filter, right? And I'm going to want it to be from 0 to 1, and because okay. And so what do? We have our filter. We're going to take and we're going to multiply the current value here, our current value right in here by the, so I need a multiplier. Right, take our current value and multiply it by this filter value, which should go from 0 to 1, and then I need to take the prior value and multiply it by 1 minus this. So I'm going to have subtraction. And subtraction is not commutative, isn't that what the math people say? Okay, and I want to multiply this times the prior value. And you guys remember how to do digital filters, so I don't have to tell you how to do digital filters, because you remember. Not like those UWB people.
We're still in the filter.
Okay, and then let's go plot that. And actually, I'm gonna take that loose over there, delete. I'm gonna put my RPM over here. Oh, come on. Okay, and then I'll take my waveform chart, and I think I'll do some signal processing. No, I think Express is cool. Signal manipulation, merge signals. Yeah. Oh, stop that.
Windows good, choose better.
Yeah, it knew I was doing something illegal, so rather than trying to say, you're doing something illegal, it said, I'm gonna try to fix it for you, which of course is not what I wanted it to do. I wanted it to say, you did something illegal, stop it, and I'll fix it. But okay, and I just ran two of them into my chart, just so that I can see the unfiltered signal and the filtered signal. And we'll run this up to something like 0.2 here. So we have a little bit of filter, and we can run this thing now. Okay, we have our perfectly fine zeros going on here, and as we run this by, what do? We see it up, no count. So we see our count go up. Now we're up at some speed here, right? And we see our filtered value coming up to where it's somewhere between these, right? That doesn't look bad, does it? Better if I didn't touch it. And then if I go real fast, now I can make my filter go a little bit faster there. Running out of number space, so I better stop it here. Go get some bigger numbers over here. And I think I'm gonna fix this display a little bit. I don't like it. We'll do the properties. We'll just do the RPM and the display format. Certainly don't want 6 significant figures. Let's do, I like to do digits of precision. And let's take it down to 1, that's okay. Oh, come on. Okay. So, there we go. I think I'm happy with that. So now if we watch this thing run here a little bit, of course I have 0 right now. Well, I have negative numbers actually. That's interesting. How did I get negative numbers? Always interesting. Okay. So now we need to sort of run it up a little bit, right? isn't it? I mean, this looks pretty stable now, right? Okay, it's not as stable as it looks, so much a function of where the RPM is, right? But it's not looking bad. And I can of course play with the filter and make it more stable. The more I play with the filter, the stabler it gets, but then it slows down, right? So I take the speed away now. The white speed can drop off in 2.5 seconds, but now it's gonna take a long time to decay out. Okay, so I think we've got, let's go look at your handout that I made for you and put here someplace. Actually, yeah, I'll put the stuff on the top of. So you get a lab, and I'll even hand stuff over to people. Right, so, okay, so who here is, everybody, let's see, who's got motors?
I do.
Sheldon had one. Is that, you guys both have motors in Hall Effects?
I don't have a hall.
You don't have a Hall Effect? Yay.
I don't have either.
You don't have either? You have everything, okay.
I have everything I need.
You have Hall Effect?
All I have, no, I don't. All I have is this.
Oh. Okay, motor controller, and you have everything.
Oh,
You have a Hall Effect?
Huh?
Okay, okay, that's all.
I just can't get it to work.
Oh, that's okay.
I did say yes.
You have the resistor across there, yeah, okay. from
You don't
there.
have either, the motor or this?
I don't have either one of them.
Count. Zero side works better.
I've tried.
Anywhere you go.
See which one you're in, see, well, you need to be in
Well, I don't know if
PF
you
or,
are.
PF.